Good afternoon, everyone. Today I want to tell you a little story. First of all, I want to tell you about the Abundance Retreat that I'm speaking at next spring. I'm going to be speaking about living your truth, writing your story, and empowering others. And I want to tell you a little story about tattoos. So I was going through my Facebook timeline yesterday, and you have to love the on this day reminders. And I realized that 4 years ago yesterday was the day that I got my first tattoo. Jonathan and I got semicolon tattoos 4 years ago yesterday. It was my very first tattoo. And while I shared a picture of the tattoo on Facebook, I didn't reveal the meaning of the tattoo. I only said that it was private, and my parents' ashes were included in the ink when we got the tattoos. And if you don't know about the Semicolon Project, a semicolon stands for, it's a place where a story could have ended but chose to go on. So it's a sign of suicide survival, and it's a humble truth that my son and I share. So it was my very first tattoo, and at the time I was afraid to speak that truth, but more importantly, I was afraid to live my truth. I lived the truth that other people prescribed for me. I did everything to make everyone else happy because that's what women do, or that's what mothers do. And that's what a lot of unhappy people do, whether they're women or not. And I paid for it dearly, as did my son. And we were both very miserable. And we acted out in a lot of ways that were not cool because we were simply unavailable to one another. And more importantly, we were unavailable to ourselves. So looking back, I see flashes of time where we both spoke our truth. I see journal entries and articles where I spoke my truth, but I never dared to share them. I kept them all very private. And now living my truth is the most important thing to me in my life. And the fact of the matter is that our story is not over, and that we are the authors of our own lives if we choose to make that choice. When I started writing my story and sharing it, I literally started healing my past and rewriting my future. After spending 20 years in bed and a full 7 years in bed and 20 years depressed, my life looks completely different than it did a few years ago. But most importantly, though, when I started sharing the stories, I received message after message of people saying, your story is my story, and you sharing it gives me the ability to share my truth, or at least feel into the truth that I have. And that's the most important thing. Just like the Me Too that swept social media recently, by some people having the courage to say what happened to them, it gave everyone else the courage to do the same. So while there are some stories I don't have the courage to share just yet because I'm still bleeding from them, there are other stories that I'm very comfortable sharing. And so when we, first of all, live our truth, and second, share our truth, when we write it, we can empower both ourselves and other people. So that's what I'm going to be talking about at the Abundance Ignited Retreat. And I'm really excited to meet those of you who've already signed up, and even more excited to meet those of you who haven't had a chance to look at it and join just yet. But either way, I can tell you that actually living your truth and writing your story can heal you and those around you. And when you do it, you draw the most important people to you with the most real connections, because they're there for you and for the real truth that you're sharing and putting out in the world. So I just wanted to share that truth with you. I hope everyone's having a great weekend, and have a great one. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.